Right. Long overdue, long anticipated, and highly requested weekly breakdown, weekly forecasts are back. This one's going to be fully public on YouTube because I have said that I would make this kind of private for my group. Yes, I have my own group, my own personal group, like I did 3 years ago, set up, ready. You can all join. All you got to do is go onto WAP and search Took That Trading Group, and you will find it. No BS, no bullshit, no fuckery, no immaturity. It is purely and solely there for educational purposes. There are a few little other bits and pieces that I'm working on that are in there, but it is very much now my sole kind of priority to make that group the best that it can be. Obviously, you already know previous groups were never mine. I never really had that much control. Yes, they were run by me, but it was very much just, limited to what I could do. And, the service provided is going to be better now, because when something is mine, I very much take priority and, what's the word? Proud, or, I want to make it the best community for people in there from all ages. There are going to be little bits and pieces that are, separate group chats, because I know that some of the OAPs like myself don't want to be sat there with chats popping off of stupid playground bullshit. So they will have their own section where they can do all of that sort of shit. And, I want the OAPs that perhaps don't want to kind of interact with all that sort of stuff to have their own section where they can conversate and talk about more mature stuff. But yeah, anyway, we'll get into the breakdown. Now, it's been a rough, I'd say, couple of months in the markets. Not rough in regards to actually losing anything. I haven't lost any trades in the last couple of months. What with, the amount of kind of ups and downs, tariffs, all this sort of drama that's coming out, and, it is very much still like that moving forward. So being cautious has been the top priority. Okay, I haven't really taken any trades on gold. The few ones that I have taken, I think were these two. You can see my trading over the last April, May on gold has been pretty, I'd say, slack. Because at the end of the day, boys, there's more to life than gold. But, gold is I'd say, the addictive fiend pair for everybody at the moment. I've been sort of looking at other different things. GBPUSD, I've had 2 good positions on GBPUSD over the last month or so. That was back in May. I am looking at a potential sell-off coming on GU or USD pairs in general. Because, we are right now stuck up at the highs. 3,600 is failing to break. It's been tested once, it's been tested twice. We are beginning to form somewhat of a little head and shoulders. We've got left shoulder here, heads, right shoulder would potentially be, back into the mid-level. This is why I like pairs like GU. GU is very visible to what it potentially could do next. This little mini level here, this is where the left shoulder failed to break. This also acted as a level of support right here, 35,500 and between 36. So I would be expecting something maybe in the early part of the week, next week, to push us into this area again, to then potentially break the neckline and start collapsing. Because we had relatively iffy news on Friday. NFP was, I think, better than expected, if I'm not mistaken. But we've also got inflation coming out this week, which is looking to rise. So inflation looking to rise means that US dollar gets stronger. So we would like to see, these USD pairs start to actually have a little bit of a sell-off. They might not be a big sell-off, but even just coming back down to retest areas that, we've got 1300 flat here that I would like to see retested. Previous level of support right here, which we haven't come back down. We are in a bit of an uptrend, so maybe looking for how the C bounce forms. If it forms or breaks, then we would just continue to hold the trade further to the downside. The only pairs that I've actually taken trades on, we took this one last week. Now, GA for pretty much the whole of the latter part of the week consolidated. We literally stayed between 1209 and 1208 flat. We just bounced around. We are still in a little bit of profit, 30 pips. You know, with things like GA, the pip count is quite big in a small space. So that is still 30 pips, whereas on GU, you know, a 30 pip move might be kind of this big. So I'm kind of just biding my time. The only good thing that I do see is that we ended the week with a bearish week and also a rounded top. So a rounded top at the top of this sort of resistance level here. Where's my pen tool? My pen tool. So this area here, if you can see, left wick, top wick, right wick, we've formed a rounded top. Now, a rounded top is normally an indication of a bearish kind, or it's a bearish indication. Having said that, we have had the weekly close bearish. So, oh dear. So at least, I would expect us to sweep this weekly low here. So even if we just pull 100 pips out next week, also see how that weekly closes. You know, we potentially could see further prices pushed down. We have got a nice fat weekly imbalance here. This is where our previous level of resistance was before we broke out. So I always kind of leave them as like targets. It's also a bit of it's like a mid area of that weekly candle there. So that is the target. But that whole trade right there is a good 886 pip move, right? So that is on the cards. GBPUSD, like I said, we are looking for some potential shorts based on the fact that we're going to probably have some positive data for the US dollar next week. And the only other position that I've been in is USDCAD. Now, USDCAD is a very slow mover, has been for quite a while. We did sell off. We have kind of secured a decent kind of move, stops at entry, could even move stops into profit. I'm still holding, even though my swap fees are going through the roof. But I will analyze to see how we react next week. Because even though US dollar might be strong against GBP USD and Euro USD, doesn't mean it's strong against CAD. CAD has had some positive data over the last couple of weeks, I think, nearly a month, which could force USD down. So, you know, we're still on the technical side showing sales. So this is why I want to see if we break this, I think it's weekly imbalance area here on the weekly time frame. But we could see next week create its top wick. So top wick into this 4-hour imbalance here. So weekly top wick back into here and us then collapse ending the week bearish again. But we'll just see. But that's kind of been it. You know, I haven't been super kind of throwing out trades purely and solely because I've seen, you know, people on social media, other people that I know that are trading saying that they're having like the worst, like beginning of 2025, this, that, and the third. And, you know, it's one of those things. If you are making yourself vulnerable in the market every day, like most of you might be doing, putting yourself in the market every day in positions, then you are just opening yourself up to potential, you know, days where things that you can't even see come out on economic data news websites and all that sort of stuff happen. And there's been a lot of it, you know, tariffs coming out, nothing about it on economic news websites. It's just Trump deciding to release something, a statement, the market reacts. You think that you are all fine and dandy, boom, goes through, hits your stop loss, especially if you're trading things like gold, right? I know a lot of people not understanding that, the week prior, or sorry, the week leading up to NFP day, you are just sitting in consolidation, right? And then when NFP does come out, 9 times out of 10, people are sat in a position that they took, Tuesday, Wednesday. They're thinking, yeah, no, it'll be absolutely fine. NFP comes out, manipulates up and down, wicks here and there, and then boom, it goes in its right direction. So, I've just kind of stayed away from news because that's always the thing that is going to move very, very volatile and, blow most of your accounts. But yeah, I mean, like I said, new group is out. You can find it on WAP. It's $40 a month. I don't think that's too over the top. Hopefully it kind of rules out any, little twats that are coming in, just ruining it for everybody. But trust me, they won't be, because I'm on top of it. Like I said, it is very much there as an educational space. Me sending out my setups, me giving you all the education, live streams, private live streams in the group as well. We're very much want to sort of focus on the people that are in there. I'll also do, a few public kind of Twitch lives and those bits and pieces, but more kind of centered around the guys that are in the group and, want to be in there to actually learn, take this shit seriously and not just fuck about and, take trades every day. Don't get me wrong. There are some things in there that give you the aspect to be able to trade every day, but, they're just bits and pieces that I'm hoping a lot of people kind of use some initiative and follow what I say as well. But yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. I will speak to you soon. Hope to will see you in the group and have a good weekend.